Yeah.
And most of it is us talking about ISIS.
Yeah.
And like why they were justified in attacking America.
Yeah.
That's the vast majority of the show. And then we talk about gnocchi for like 5 minutes.
But it was such a tough thing to talk about every week.
Because we got
it's
bored.
Yeah. And like I cooked a little bit, but it wasn't like I had any like real insight about.
So the most fun thing I've ever done with you.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing we've ever done.
The Food Network pilot.
You think you remember this?
Yeah, of course.
Me and you did a
I'll never
pilot
forget. Yeah.
for a Food Network show.
Yeah.
That was called Hot Spots.
Yeah.
And it was about, they wanted a comedian. They thought they did. They never do. They wanted a comedian to like come in and they were hiring like 3 people to go around the country and like go to the different hot spots.
But we were the only 2 comedians who tested, and the other people who were in there were like wannabe like food personalities.
It was all people that were the bootleg knockoff version of someone already on the Food Network.
Yeah.
Like there was a fat chick who wanted to be Paula Deen.
Yeah.
And she was like, have y'all ever had a redneck grilled cheese? It was like, there was a miserable little guy named Billy who thought he was like, you know, a genius. And then there was that Asian chick, Candace. She was like
Kumai,
a wellness blogger.
Yeah. And you were like, hey, Candace, remember when we turned your people into dust?
Yeah, they didn't put that on air, shockingly.
Yeah, well, you didn't say it on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, they would be like, I would say something. They'd be like, tell me what a hot spot is. I'm like, a hot spot is when I try to get in and the maitre d' tells me to kill myself. And then they go, cut. No.
Yeah.
They go, do it again, but leave the kill yourself out. And I'm like, that's the joke.
Yeah.
And they go, just say like a hot spot is when I try to get in. The maitre d' says no.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but that's not funny.
Well, we spent most of our careers around like wannabe comics, which is like very sad. Like people like failed comics are obviously very sad.
Yeah.
But there's something a little sadder about like wannabe food personalities.
Oh, it's horrible.
Because you're like, where does this go? What's your day to day? What do you do? What's your life?
Well, there was that woman who tortured her kid, and like she was like a mommy blogger.
Yeah.
And she'd like have like her
Daphne.
son would be eating a cookie, and she'd be like, "What do you like about the cookie? Tell everyone on YouTube what you like about the cookie. Like and subscribe." And it was like a poor 3-year-old. Like, what the? Get away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is tragic when you see people like that are wannabes in like another realm.
Yeah. Her husband was a chef, and her husband was like watching pornography on his phone.
Yeah, her husband was like being taken out for CP. She's like one of those people who's like, well, listen, I had a little bit of a midlife crisis. My husband was taken out for child porn.
Yeah.
And now what I just do is I basically tell moms how to make healthy lunches.
Yeah. The kid's like, Daddy, what's happening? He's like, it's fine, sweetheart. Oh, you know, these guys never stop bothering Daddy. They want to check his hard drive again.
These are Daddy's old friends. These are Daddy's old friends. They come in special jackets.
Yeah.
Daddy used to be in this fraternity called the FBI.
Yeah, and then who else? Yeah, there was that guy Billy. There was that lady. I mean, we talked about this a lot, but there was that lady Francine who was like the wannabe. Now, the initial thing that annoyed me about her was she goes, you know, because we're shooting the thing in Hoboken.
Yeah.
They flew her up from like wherever the fuck Arkansas, wherever she was from. She goes
Somewhere fat.
somewhere. But she didn't even have any like. At least Paula Deen, it's like there's kind of a story there.
Yeah.
You know, there's like, hey y'all, you know, there's
Hey
like
y'all,
there's like a
the South will rise again.
This bitch was like, let me just make the fattest thing I can.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah, y'all ever had peanut butter pie?
Yeah. Y'all ever had a redneck grilled cheese? That's a grilled cheese with bacon. Like she'd be like bacon, Canadian bacon, pulled pork. It's like it was gross.
She was probably the most annoying person on that shoot.
She was disgusting.
Yeah.
She was annoying and terrible.
And then at one point she goes, New Yorkers ain't nice.
Right.
I love when people do that.
Yeah.
New Yorkers ain't nice. There's 8 million of us.
And remember, so we were by the Cake Boss.
Yeah.
And during the break, everybody went to Cake Boss to get like fucking, I don't know, like cannoli, whatever you get at Cake Boss, right?
Yeah.
And she was so excited and she was just eating all of it going, I don't think this is that good.
Yeah.
I don't think this is good at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they served us dinner, so everybody's got to like tell their story. You know, everybody's got to go around the thing and be like, you know, who are you? What's your brand? Whatever.
Right.
So Billy's like, you know, I've been kicked out of a few countries. You know, there's some.
He was like a guy. He had the nerd glasses on. He was in a suit.
Yeah.
He thought he was like a high end like sommelier who knew
Yeah.
about wine. He was like, he still does. I looked him up. He still does like
Yeah.
auctions. That's his thing. He's like an auctioneer.
Yeah.
And he like knows chefs, and he's got photos on his Instagram with like him and like.
And he says to you, he goes, "What restaurants do you like?" And
Right.
you said, "I like Carbone." He
Yeah,
goes,
because Carbone just opened. Yeah.
he goes, "Carbone wouldn't even be in my top 100."
Yeah, he's like Carbone would need. And by the way, so then he kept talking about Nancy Silverton, who's the chef of Osteria Mozza in West Hollywood, and she was the chef of La Brea Bakery, and she's like a big restaurateur in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I would just love one day to like grab her and be like, "Do you know this guy?" And she'd be like, "Oh, that piece of shit. He's not allowed back here." Like, yeah, the guy who sent a message to my 17-year-old daughter on Instagram. Oh yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like really impressed with his knowledge, and now it's so funny because like we look back at that, we would have loved to get that,
Sure.
Yeah,
But they wouldn't have taken both of
they
us.
would never have taken both of us.
They wouldn't have taken me over you.
They wouldn't have taken either one of us.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
But that was back then when it was like it was cool to do that.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we're testing for a Food Network pilot.
I remember asking the producer like months later. I go, "Hey, any word on that Food Network show?" I'd like message her on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, any word on that Food
Right.
Network show?" She goes, "Oh, yeah, Food Network passed on that."
Yeah,
She said they passed.
they passed on that.
Yeah. But I don't know.
They also had a successful version of that called Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Of course.
Like they didn't need.
Best show to watch in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, no one needs this show.
Yeah. When I kill myself, that's
Yeah.
going to be on the TV.
It's going to be
at
playing
the,
Diners, Drive-Ins, and
at
Dives.
the microtel by
Your
Wyndham.
brain matter splattered across a bed, and then Guy Fieri is just like, so you put the beef on the grill.